Let me first describe what my hometown looks like. Jakarta, Indonesia is surrounded by beautiful oceans, exotic temples, and strong dialects. Does any of this ring a bell? Yes. The descriptions also fit very well with Busan. 7 beaches, attractive temples like Haedong Yeonggongsa, and we can't forget the famous dialect Busan 사투리. And that's when I knew Busan was going to be my second home. I grew up so much in Busan that I even mentor other students from Indonesia to help them with their Korean and life in Busan. When I teach them Korean, I sometimes see myself using 사투리. Looking back, I remember struggling to understand what my professors were saying because they were using 찐 Busan 사투리, you know, the real Busan dialect. But I think that's what makes Busan more of my home. Through the dialect, I feel the warm 정 that no other city can mimic. Global City Busan. We are in it together. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM 부산 영어방송.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
Well, tomorrow is the big day, 수능 day. It is finally coming tomorrow. However, today's also going to be a busy day because test takers, they have to attend a preliminary assembly at their designated test site. That's going to happen later on today. What happens? They receive their test slip, confirm their assigned test room and seat, and go through the logistics of what's going to happen the day of, which is tomorrow. Will this year's test be what they call a 불수능 or a 물수능, meaning will this year's exam be particularly difficult or easier than usual? And even more importantly, are test takers ready for this all-important day tomorrow? Well, I think we're going to be holding our collective breath tomorrow. In the meantime, we can only cheer on all the test takers and their families too. I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Wednesday, November 12th on BEFM, 부산영어방송. Good morning, Wavers. Yes, I began today's program talking about what's going to happen tomorrow. So we are going to cover that tomorrow, plus a little later on today. In the meantime, let's talk about something that is also very important, cutting greenhouse gas emissions by at least 53% by the year 2035. This is a goal set by the Lee Jae-myung administration and confirmed plus passed by the cabinet yesterday. This has been one of the top stories this week, having taken a rapid turn over the weekend with a sudden 3% increase in the minimum threshold for these cuts. Specifically, the measure passed by the cabinet yesterday sets South Korea's nationally determined contribution, NDC, at 53 to 61% compared to the emission levels from 2018. So what does this mean? This puts Korea's goals on par with other major countries, like Japan, which has set its goals at 60% and a little below the European Union with its goal of 66.25 to 72.5%. The UK has quite the ambitious goal of an 81% reduction rate by 2035. But these countries have structural and systematic measures to back this up. The EU, for example, has an emission trading system, 탄소 배출권. So if corporations don't reduce their emissions, they actually have to pay. They have to pay up. And there are also massive investments in infrastructure. Taking this or bringing this back to South Korea, the government's goal isn't low compared to other major countries. However, experts point out that our country lacks infrastructure and investment to help carry out this goal. For example, the steel and petrochemicals industries have been calling for the state to make contributions to the cost of switching to renewable energy. And speaking of renewable energy, experts point out that the speed at which we've been making the transition to green, if not greener energy, that's been slower than expected. So we do have a goal set, but now it's time to actually start making and executing plans in order to meet this goal. And yes, the industries, the government, but also us, consumers, we need to, change our behavior, make some choices. Well, for now, we're going to turn to our text topic. So in a bit, we're going to be discussing the census. Okay, so census meaning 인구조사. But I want to do maybe our own little survey. Ready? Here we go. How many people live in your family, in your household? Are you like a big family, maybe medium size, or maybe a small one? Is your family a nuclear family? What is the ideal number of people or pets you'd like to have in your household? Because nowadays, some of us, we consider our animal companions, pets, as part of the family. 자, 조금 있다가 인구조사 대해서 이야기를 할 건데요. 집에 몇 분 사시는지, 그리고 여러분은 대가족 혹은 핵가족, 1인 가구, 내 이상적인 가구 수나 구성은 뭘까요? So you can send in your opinions, your responses to BEFM's live stream live chat on YouTube. Go to the YouTube platform and type in BEFM or 부산영어방송 to find our channel. And you can subscribe, log in and chat with our other waivers from your phone, pound 9050, shop 9050. That's going to cost you 100 won. You can also reach me for free on Kakao Talk. So find us first, BEFM, 부산영어방송. Add us as a friend. And then you can send in your messages and your photos as well, too. The ways you can tune into Morning Wave in Busan, if you're in Busan and you love the radio, 90.5 or 103.3 FM. Like I said, we're streaming live right now on YouTube. If you haven't checked us out, I hope you have the opportunity to do so. Also, we're available on the BEFM app and the Popbang app. Both are free and easy to download. Looking ahead to our hump day, so we have Lian. She's coming in hour number 1 for Now and Next. And hour number 2, we have Jennifer for Work in Progress. And for our special interview, we are going to be focusing on our main topic at hand, COP30. It's happening right now in Brazil. Why does this matter, this meeting that's happening in Brazil, and what's next? We're going to find out in hour number 2 with our expert, and I'll be back with news overview. It's now 7:06, and this is news overview. 2 bodies retrieved at Ulsan boiler tower collapse site. The bodies of 2 more workers have been retrieved from the ruins of the boiler tower collapse site as of this morning, bringing the death toll to 5. President calls for measures against hate speech and disinformation. President Lee Jae-myung yesterday called for stern punishment against dissemination of misinformation regarding racism, discrimination, and other distortions of facts as threats against democracy, calling on the political sphere to join in efforts to eradicate such practices. Ex-President Yoon denies interference in marine death investigation. Former President Yoon Suk-yeol appeared for questioning at the Special Counsel probing the death and the subsequent investigation of Marine Corporal Choi, where he denied exerting influence over the case in 2023. Government to probe public officials' participation in martial law. The Office of the Prime Minister announced the launch of a task force to investigate public officials' illegal participation in the December 3rd martial law case. U.S. Senate passes funding bill to end government shutdown. The U.S. Senate passed a crucial funding bill that could bring the government shutdown to an end, with the bill now going to the House of Representatives for a vote. And this was News Overview. It's time for Now Busan. We have Sejin in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. So today we are doing a little survey, a little census of our own. So what makes up your household? How many people?
There are 5 in my family.
Ooh. So can you give us
elaborate?
details?
Of
Yes.
course. I have older sister. I've got younger brother who is 2 years younger than me, who is serving a military service.
Oh, right now, yes.
And he's about to discharge.
Oh, he's going to be discharged?
Yes, and I'm going to live with him again.
Oh. Yes. Are you happy about that? Are you crying already? I see
Apparently,
tears.
yes.
Oh, wow. So, in today's terms, kind of a bigger family, right?
Yes, it's far from nuclear family, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes. Well, thanks for sharing. Good luck with your brother moving back home and, of course, on his discharge as well. We're going to jump into our local stories. So, once again, tomorrow, D-Day. The College Scholastic Ability Test, or Sunung, is coming up tomorrow.
For sure. The city's got this whole big plan for the CSAT Day, which will take place on November 13th across 62 test sites in the city. It's one of the most important days of the year for students in Korea. So they are lining up everything, sorting out transport, noise control, and medical assistance. And they will run an integrated control center on the day. And to make the morning a bit easier, all the public offices and companies are basically letting their staff come in late, at 10 in the morning. So there's less traffic.
Yes.
They've got a transport control team watching the road from 6 to 8:30 in the morning to handle any unexpected incident.
That's right. What about bus lanes?
From 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., bus-only lane enforcement will be temporarily suspended. Also, they're putting extra buses and subways on standby. They'll have emergency vehicles ready to give any late or special needs students a lift if needed. During the listening part of the exam, they will keep things super quiet. Ambulances and fire engines will refrain from using sirens, and noise vehicles will be diverted.
That's right, because that's how important this exam is. With exam season literally coming tomorrow, but also the holidays just around the corner, Busan is stepping up efforts to protect young people from risky environments.
Yes, from November 13th through January 15th, Busan City is going to be a bit more of a mission to keep teenagers safe after the exams and through the holiday season. The city is just stepping in to make sure that all of those spots where teenagers hang out and celebrate, like nightlife areas, academy zones, and places like Gwangalli Beach, are all being watched a bit more closely.
Yes, and I suppose it is because students are more likely to go out and kind of enjoy themselves, celebrate after this huge exam, right?
Yes, as students often feel a sense of relief after exams and are influenced by the festive year and atmosphere.
Yes.
They want to make sure no one's selling alcohol or cigarette to minors and that underage kids aren't sneaking into places that shouldn't be. So they are basically keeping a close eye on poker rooms, convenience stores, cigarette shops, and karaoke bars and adult stores.
Yeah, so what happens if businesses get caught breaking rules?
They could be looking at some hefty fines or even jail up to 2 years. And those who hire minors in harmful environment face up to 3 years or 30 million won.
Ooh.
They're also encouraging everyone to report anything that they see that is not right to keep them safe.
Right. So it's upon all of us to make sure that our young people are safe. So let's definitely do that. Let's be supportive, make sure that they are responsible too. And next, this is an interesting story. So among all 89 population declining districts across Korea, there's one district where the number of young people actually went up. And guess what? it's Busan, right?
Yes, this one is exclusive from Busanilbo. While a lot of young people around the country are packing up and heading to Seoul, there's this cool twist happening in Donggu, Busan.
Yes.
Over the past 5 years, unlike a lot of other places, they're losing young people. Donggu actually saw more young residents moving in, according to the National Assembly Future Institute. It's kind of a standout case.
So you mentioned Donggu, the really the only one that's kind of growing in terms of this youth population. So what's driving this?
Well, experts are saying it's down to solid youth policies. Like they're doing things like supporting startups, improving housing, and just making the area nice to live in.
Yes.
The district offers funding and support rent for young entrepreneurs. And recently, they've got this urban startup hub called the Ibagu platform that's there to help new businesses settle in without feeling so much pressure.
Wow, so this is a great idea. I hear that favorable geographic conditions are also seen as a contributing factor to all of this.
Definitely. Donggu boasts excellent transport access, like you've got Metro Line 1, KTX Busan Station, and plenty of bus and ease to get around.
Yes.
And they are redeveloping areas such as Choryangdong and Bamildong. New apartment and thriving local businesses are making the district much more appealing.
Yes, so Donggu can become a model for other districts and hopefully cities to attract young residents again. All right, next, let's talk about this. Busan's budget for next year has been unveiled at nearly 18 trillion won. So we need to know, where will the money go?
The city got this whole 17.9 trillion won budget planned for next year.
Yes.
Which is about 7.5 bump from this year and ready to submit to the city council. They're basically putting the money into 6 big projects to make Busan a happier place for residents and global hub city.
Yes.
So for example, they are putting like 6.6 trillion won into their care system to help more people and even add things like special transport vehicles for people with disabilities.
I see. So what about things like healthcare and safety, though?
They are putting a good chunk of money into public health care, like building a new respiratory disease center and a children's hospital. And safety, of course. They're going to fit arc fault breakers in older apartments to prevent fires and checking smoke control system in old tunnels.
Right. So I've also heard that they might be making toll roads free during rush hour. Is this true?
Yes, during rush hours, they're making places like Eulsuk-do Bridge and Sansang Tunnel free to help people get around more easily. They're also throwing over 600 billion won into the Dongbek Pass or K-Pass to cut down on travel cost.
Oh, yes. So, and they're investing, 645.2 billion won to build a greener, more livable city.
Clearly, they are working on giving people cleaner drinking water by teaming up with Gyeongnam water intake areas. And the city is adding new parks so that everyone's got a green space within 15-minute city.
Yes.
And they've also set aside about 440.7 billion won for getting the new Garekdo Airport project back on track. And building infrastructure for the North Port redevelopment and working on metro lines, including the new Hadan to Noksan line. And they're even putting money into making Busan a place where young people actually want to stay.
Yes.
Like if a company keeps a young employees for a year, the city will chip in up to 1 million won in support. And about 2,000 households are also going to get some help with rent if they're struggling. And the city is actually bumping up on TACAP on those rental deposit loans.
Right. That's definitely good. And they're also boosting or trying to boost culture, right?
Yes, 335 billion won goes into cultural landmarks. Think the Busan Opera House, and about 157 billion won into sports tourism like the Baseball Museum and Seven Bridge Tour.
That's right. So yes, infrastructure plus improving everyday life. So thanks for going over all the local news. We'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Sajin.
Anytime.
Okay, and I'll be back with your traffic and weather.
Good morning.
Good morning.
굿모닝입니다.
Good morning.
좋은 아침입니다.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan. Major news, local buzz, and expert takes. It's all here on Morning Wave in Busan. Brighten up your morning commute with Morning Wave in Busan. Morning Wave in Busan.
It's time for your traffic report right now. First up, let's talk about the Dongso Overpass, which is busy from Hwangyong Ramp to the old Gaegeum Tollgate. Also, there is some backup on Nakdong Namno from Gangso Police Station to Seongsan Three-Way intersection. There's also traffic on Jungangdaero from Busan Market intersection to Seomyeon intersection. It's also slow on Luno Samsungdaero from Myeongji intersection to Shino Bridge. Currently, it is 10 degrees Celsius under clear skies. It's going to go up to 18 here in Busan. Across the nation, clear skies, but morning lows below zero in mountainous regions, with a daytime high going up to maybe even 20 degrees, depending on where you are. So once again, there's still a big gap between the low and the high. Take care of your health. This was your traffic and weather. All right, Wavers, it's now time for top stories. We have Haley in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, before we dive into our top stories, we want to know about your household. Number one, in reality, what it's like. And then in theory, La La Land.
What would I like it to be?
Yes.
Currently 5. No, 4. Never mind. We are a family of 5, but my sister has her own household.
Yes.
Older sister. So yeah, it's my mom, dad, myself, and my little sister. I like that setup. Because I also realized, not ideal, but I would not like to live alone. Because I can't talk to the walls. I mean, I can, but that might be concerning.
Yes.
So later, if I have a partner, spouse, whatever, and then I don't know, ideally 2 kids, but realistically 1, maybe a pet.
Oh.
Yeah, I would love a dog, but then I just don't have the responsibilities of being a dog owner. So if I can dump that onto a partner,
that would
be ideal.
Great.
Yeah.
Yes. I see.
All the fun. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. Well, we need updates from the Ulsan East-West Power Corporation plant.
Right. So we do have sad updates that 2 more bodies have been retrieved as of this morning. So the fire authorities said that they retrieved the body of a worker in his 60s last night at 10:14 p.m. This is from the rubbles of boiler tower number 5. The second body was found near the first body around the same time last night. However, because of all the rubble, the wires, the steel that's been tangled,
Yes.
the authorities spent all night cutting away and retrieved his body at 5:19 this morning.
Right.
This brings the official death toll to 5. And 2 people are still buried. One person's location has been determined. Another person's still at large.
And so the search missions, I hear, have been picking up speed.
Right, because the search and rescue mission resumed in earnest after the 2 towers adjacent to boiler number 5, so 4 and 6, they came down at 3:40 p.m. yesterday.
Okay.
So they had been cutting through the steel and debris centered around this site where the workers were confirmed to have been buried under. The fire agency, they brought in 70 experts in search and rescue, plus dismantling experts from the private sector. So things, as you said, are picking up speed.
Yes.
So as for the boiler towers that came down yesterday, these are on the either side of the collapsed tower. The thing about these 2 towers is because they too were in the process of dismantling, they already had been pre-weakened. Because of that, there were concerns about their structural integrity, those 2 collapsing down as well. So search and rescue missions had to be suspended from Sunday due to safety concerns.
Yes.
And now that they have come down, again, the search is resuming.
Yes. Once again, one of the top stories, sad stories as well. Well, switching gears, many people have been investing in stocks here in South Korea. And I saw yesterday on the board that people were contemplating it, but maybe it's getting a little overheated for some.
Right. Prudence is always key because we are in this era of what in Korean we say is hacheonpi, right? 4,000 Kospi.
Yes.
That's been consistently the case. And people are getting FOMO. They're getting investment fear of missing out.
Yes.
And even the government has been encouraging stock investment as a form of sustainable investment, trying to kind of get money away from speculative real estate. But always everything in moderation and to what extent you can afford to invest.
Right.
Unfortunately, this has not been the case for many people because some are even taking out loans. So going into debt to invest.
Wow. So we need to know. how bad is the situation?
Right, so let's look at some loans. We have figures from the top 5 commercial banks as of November 7th. The total household loan balance came to 105.9 trillion won. This isn't all going into investments, obviously,
Right.
but the rate of increase in just 1 month has been the highest in the last 4 years and 4 months. So, of course, what kind of loans are we talking about? That matters because if you have mortgage loans, that's obviously not going into the stock market.
Right.
But we're seeing a spike in Korean, we call that minus bank account, minus 통장. So your overdraft fees,
Okay.
Overdraft loans by over 1 trillion won. Credit loans up by 114.8 billion won. Let's look at that figure. The rise
Okay.
in credit loans, according to experts, is likely linked to retail investors, so the ants.
Yes.
Because if you remember from earlier this month, there was that Black Wednesday, with shares plummeting over fears of the so-called AI bubble. However, even amidst this, retail investors in Korea kept buying stocks, actually buying up before investors were basically dropping off on that date and since then in the Kospi. So on November 5th, when the Kospi dropped by over 6% during market hours,
Right.
the overdraft balance rose by over 623 billion won. So logically, we can assume people are taking out loans to buy up these stocks. Again, investment FOMO. So that's what's been happening.
Right, and there are even more clearer markers of this.
Right. Another very telltale index for the debt-based investment is called 신용거래융자. So this is margin trading or
Yes.
buying on margin. Basically, you're taking out loans directly from a brokerage firm and they'll let investors borrow money to buy shares or securities. The balance on these loans as of November 7th was 26.2 trillion won. That's a 4-year high.
Oh.
Again, odd signals. The government has been in sort of a roundabout way encouraging this. For example, the vice chair of the Financial Services Commission, Kwon Dae-young, said in a radio interview earlier this month
Yes.
that we, meaning the government, they've been viewing these loan-based investments by young people, by we mean society, in negative light, but that he sees this as a form of leverage. So almost justifying this, although I should make it crystal clear that he did caution people to take out only what you can afford.
Yes.
However, this again raises concerns of instilling this fear of missing out amongst young people, especially if they don't have a clear marker of where the market is headed
Yes.
or where their finances are. Maybe socially, exactly, pressuring them to dive in as to not get behind.
Yes, but always do your research, consult with professionals before you jump in.
I was told earlier on when I was telling, the adult figures in my life, I was like, I should invest, right? Like, this is a thing. They're like, only invest money that you're comfortable losing.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, that's like $20. I'm like, what?
I'm not comfortable
Right.
with losing anything.
I don't even gamble. Like, what?
All right.
Yeah.
Wise advice. Wise advice. All right. Up next, South Korea is in the middle of its census gathering period, hence our text topic today.
So knock knock, how many
Yes.
people are living in your household? And then some. So the 2025 census is currently ongoing until November 18th. It is the home visit period. The internet census has ended. The government gathers data on not just the population, not just how many people are living in your home, but demographic information in this surprisingly detailed survey every 5 years. Little sidebar, my home it's in the sample, so my dad actually had to answer questions. And he was like, they asked you if you wanted to get married. I'm like, I don't know. That's such a philosophical question. How much time do they have? So it's detailed. And we'll get to the reasons.
I have a personal story too.
Oh, please.
Somebody knocked on our door, like literally knocked on our door. I don't know if it's because of this or because we moved, recently. But
Right.
They knocked on our door and then they were asking questions of my roommate. And then he was like kind of offended. He was like, that's really personal. Why do you need to know? Because like the Western side of him is like, who's asking? Why are you asking this?
Right.
And he was like, come back when my wife is home.
So he's going to dump that onto
and
you.
I was just like, thank you.
Thanks.
Anyhow, so what kind of questions are there?
Right, so let's get to that. There are some basic questions,
Yes.
but then more detailed social questions. And they do change with societal changes. Let's actually look at the whole timeline. 1940s through the 50s, wartime. So we did have questions about whether you've been taken into the military, military, mobilized, whether there were loss of limbs or other disabilities from the war. 60s, we get our first questions about housing because people started to have their own homes.
Yes.
Things like, though, because homes look like whether they had a fire pit. Do you have a shed for livestock? Do you have a chimney? Do you have outhouses?
Outhouses. Oh my
right.
gosh. Okay.
70s was the period of industrial growth. So we are going to get oddly specific questions about your possessions.
Yes.
What do you have? Do you have a radio? Do you have a TV? In that case, you're rich. But this signals that we do see this emergence of a middle class that could
Yes.
own things like the radio, sewing machines, and refrigerators. Those are really rare, though.
Yes.
2000s, birth rate became the issue. So there we have it.
Well, what about this year? What are they asking?
So you're going to be asked 55 questions,
Oh.
55 categories, including do you have plans to get married? Thoughts about living together without getting married? Questions about caregiving for the family with multicultural families. Language questions. What kind of language do you use at home?
Okay.
How's your Korean ability? However, of course, due to privacy concerns,
Yes.
they're not going to ask questions about how many children one has. That can be a sensitive topic because that
Right.
could be a has or had.
Yes.
So in that case, data could be acquired through other means, definitely. So, by the way, respondents have already been set with the sampling of 20% of the total population.
Yes.
Census takers will or have already visited your home, as we shared, but so please be nice. Please answer because
Yes.
they're not probing because they're curious.
Yes, husband of mine. They're just doing their job. And the little birdie in our studio, aka Tweetybird, aka 예지 PD님 saying, 저는 혼자 살아요. 곧 2명 가능하겠죠. 전 결혼하고 싶어요. 남자가 없어서 그렇지.
Wow.
She's so, but you know what? She has
You
high
should
standards.
get sampled
Yeah.
for the census. She'd be like, all right, I'm going to give you the tea. Sit
Let
down.
me
Let's have dinner. Let me tell you everything.
However, there's also warning out for potential scams.
And that's a great point that you brought up.
Yes.
Like you didn't know if this person was a
Right.
census taker, which I'm sure they were.
I'm sure they were
but
too.
Make sure they
Yes.
have IDs. According to the Ministry of Data and Statistics, they caution people against possible leaks of personal information, not just about whether you want to get married, but credit card information, bank accounts. Please, the government will never, ever ask you for your financial information, like
Right.
bank accounts, credit card number, passwords to anything, or at least in this case, the registration or alien registration number.
Sure.
Thankfully, no reports of such scams have been reported thus far, but please do be careful and always ask for the census taker's ID. By the way, so far, 70% of households that have been sampled have responded. The goal is to get to 100 because, by the way, these questions, they do go into policy forming.
Right.
Yes.
So for the census taker, surveyor, please come back. I will answer your questions nicely. I promise. All right, for our final story, we're going to go to the U.S. Senate, where we left off right before a vote to possibly end the U.S. government shutdown. So what's going on?
Right, the vote did happen. It did pass. Will the government shutdown end? That's still, we'll see. So the
Yes.
stopgap bill, the temporary bill to reopen government, passed the Senate yesterday in a 60-40 vote. That means a handful of Democratic senators, so 8 of them, went against the party line. And they're all either retiring or not running for election, which kind of lets them go against
Yes.
party line. This prompted anger from the Democratic Party, leading to even calls for the Senate's Democratic leader, which is like the floor leader, Chuck Schumer, to resign, although he voted in along the party line. The reason that this bill does not have bipartisan support is healthcare subsidies.
Right.
Democrats want there to be extension of healthcare subsidies to make health insurance affordable for Americans. There isn't one right now, only a deal to vote next month to determine that.
That's right. So basically, this does not mean that the shutdown is over.
Right, so that's because the U.S. legislature is in 2 levels, the Senate and the lower House of Representatives. So House members have been called back to Washington, D.C. to vote on this bill.
Right.
This vote could happen very soon, within today or just tomorrow. It's all about the math. Republicans have a thin margin, 219 seats against the Dems' 213, meaning neither party can afford to lose votes if they
Yes.
want it their way. So House Speaker, Republican Mike Johnson, he has to get pretty much everyone on board and is trying to get President Trump to help out with that, use that political muscle.
Yes.
However, the Democrat House Minority Leader, Hakeem Jeffries, he's vowed to fight the package because, again, it's not what the Democrats want. They're making sure that their representatives are voting within the party line. So, again, kind of uncertain at this point.
That's right. We'll keep an eye on that one. Thank you for going over all the stories. And of course, we'll check in with you in hour number 2. Thank you, Haley.
See you in a bit.
All right. So we've been talking about the fact that it is 수능 Day, D-Day tomorrow. So we have a song request from 태진님. Such a sweet message. 고3 수험생 여러분들 이미 슈퍼스타. 내일 다들 화이팅. So he is encouraging and cheering on all the test takers tomorrow. So he says, everybody, you're already a superstar. Here is 이한철's Superstar.
지난 날 아무 계획도 없이 여기서 울러왔던 너 좀 머리둥절한 표정이 예전 나와 같아 모습은 까무잡잡한 스포츠맨 오직 그것만 해왔던 두렵지만 설레임에 시작에 네가 있어 괜찮아 잘 될 거야 너에겐 눈부신 미래가 있어 괜찮아 잘 될 거야 우린 널 믿어 의심치 않아 너만의 살아가야 할 이유 그게 무엇이 됐든 후회 없이만 산다면 그것이 슈퍼스타 괜찮아 잘 될 거야 너에겐 눈부신 미래가 있어 괜찮아 잘 될 거야 우린 널 믿어 의심치 않아 널 힘들게 했던 일들과 그 순간에 끌렸던 땀과 눈물을 한 잔에 마셔버리자 괜찮아 잘 될 거야 너에겐 눈부신 미래가 있어 괜찮아 잘 될 거야 우린 널 믿어 의심치 않아 3, 4 너만의 인생의 슈퍼스타
It is time for Now and Next. We have Lian here. Good morning.
Good morning,
How are
Catherine.
you?
I am good.
Okay, our text topic. We have reality versus fantasy.
Yes.
Reality, you know, who's in your household? And then fantasy. We can always fantasize, right? So, is it okay to share?
Of course.
Yes.
It's me, my husband, and my two little girls.
Okay. You always say
And-
babies.
Yeah, they don't like it when I call them babies anymore.
They're so cute, though.
baby 아니야. So, those two little rascals. And so, my answer
Ideally.
to in my fantasy world.
Yes.
Alone. Alone, okay, but to be honest, not every day of the week. But
You and I think alike.
because
How many days?
I
I
will
said
miss
2 days.
them. 2 days away, like 2 days alone. You want 2 days alone.
Uh-huh.
I think 2 days alone is perfect. And it has to be in the, like, right in the middle. Like Wednesday and a Sunday.
Oh.
좀 약간 힘들어질 때.
Need a break.
I need everyone to get out of the house so that I can clean up a little bit.
Nice,
and then,
nice.
Yeah, that's my ideal world.
Okay.
Never gonna happen, but...
Thanks for sharing and fantasizing along with me. Now, reality. What are we covering today?
Yes. So the trends that we're going to be talking about, especially this week, is what? The College Scholastic Ability Test. Or 수능.
Dun, 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 tomorrow.
Right.
Yes.
So everyone's kind of, that's the big event of the week.
Uh-huh.
And so all the cities are getting prepared for that. The airplanes are delaying takeoff. Streets are going quiet. Schools are starting later. But, the parents.
Yes.
They're preparing some gifts around this time, right?
Yes.
Because there's always been this ritual behind building up to the 수능. What everyone does, what everyone gets for the good luck, to wishing the good luck for the students.
And I'm so curious, like, is it the same? Are there new trends?
Yes.
Because, back in the day, I heard it was all about the yacht.
Yes.
Yeah. Meaning, because it's sticky.
Right.
So you get 붙어라.
Right.
Kind of like that, right?
Yeah,
I guess. Still do that?
Not really anymore. Those are from the past, I guess. But I've seen people sell yacht on the streets. But
I have too. Last year, an acquaintance of mine, their son was, going to take the suneung, and then so she had prepared, yacht or
she had.
She was doing it old school, and it was packaged real pretty,
right.
handmade, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And then I've never really had yacht. I didn't realize how sticky. I almost lost a tooth.
Yeah.
너무 딱딱하고.
I have traumatic experiences with yacht.
아 진짜?
The cavity filler. What do you call it?
Yeah.
The
filling popped out, right?
Yes.
조심해야 돼요.
Yes. 그래서,
네.
like you said, back in those days, it was all about the yacht. Or also 찰떡. 찰떡 was a thing.
Sticky, yeah.
And stick the rice cake and then, pass your exam. Right now,
yes.
To little bit time travel a little bit, there were also lucky pencils and study charms. Back then, it was all something you can touch. It was something that you can package and give to someone. And also something you can smell, touch, or carry in your pencil case for good luck. Right now, it's instead of the old school talismans, I guess, you'll see more of the key rings or photo cards. The kind fans collect for their favorite idols. And rather than buying them in person, students and friends often send mobile gift coupons because no everyone has a phone by the age of high school. So digital good luck, it comes in the form of coffee, movie tickets, or even department store vouchers.
Nice.
So it's kind of the same emotion of wishing them good luck, but the method is completely changed.
It's so different.
Yes, it's. I guess we can call it the Gen Z language. And the companies have noticed this changing trend, I guess. This year, department stores have partnered with famous university bakeries.
Ooh.
They've been selling pastries inspired by campuses like the prestigious Yonsei or Korea University.
Yes.
And so they're releasing what's called the quote-unquote exam day editions
아 진짜?
of their pastry like cream buns.
Right.
So when you open the package, there's kind of this encouraging sticker inside alongside the pastry saying
What do they say?
It says 잘했고 잘해왔고 잘 될 거야.
Oh, I like that.
That's,
Can we translate in English?
Yeah, so you've done well, you've come far, and you're going to continue to do well.
I love that. The
Is-
past, present, and future.
Exactly. So
Yes,
it's a small message that replaces, the pressure that we kind of all feel of having to
Right.
achieve a goal, like get a certain grade. You know what I mean?
And I like that tone of just being so positive and also motivating. But, it's so different. People always ask me, they're like, isn't the SAT the same as a suneung? And I always say no. Bar none, it's not the same because the SAT you can retake even during the
Right.
same, calendar year. A few times. I know that some really top universities, they do want, all scores reported or there's like
Yes.
a metric, right?
Right,
Whatever,
right.
that's different. But it's like, it's like kind of the be all, the end all. That
Right.
pressure is like so intense. I don't even know how test takers, they handle that.
My stomach hurts even thinking about it.
Right, exactly.
You can't be in your best condition.
Right.
Yes. So I guess the method of or like cheering them on has changed.
Yes.
왜냐면 뭐 엿이나 뭐 찰떡은 뭔가 돼야 될 것 같잖아요. 붙어야 될 것 같고.
붙어야 되는 것 같은.
Yeah, you don't have to. And also the focus has shifted from performance to care once again. So back in 2007, before 너튜브 kind of took off, students were filming like cheer videos, singing this famous song "Tell Me, Tell Me," parodies for their classmates. Today, that kind of cheer videos kind of still lives on and through the reels and shorts, but it's a flood of funny, sincere encouragement clips before exam day.
Right.
And if you kind of look at the broader timeline, the evolution of exam gifts kind of also reflects Korea's social changes in the past. In the early 2000s, it was all about the wellness trend.
Yes.
So it was like vitamin or like red ginseng, 홍삼 주고 막. Or in 2016, smartphones were banned from exam halls. So analog wristwatches, everyone you had to get them, right? And during the pandemic, when everyone's putting on masks and hand sanitizers, that's kind of like the things that these students had to carry with them. So I think in all these stages of throughout the years, it kind of reflects what you bring to the exam day is kind of like reminiscent of that time.
Yeah, it's like a time capsule, like of that era, like what was going on.
Do you have any special memories of what you had your kids bring to exam day?
You know, to be honest,
because you've done with two, right?
이제 한 마리 명 나왔는데요. You know, the thing is, like, they went a different route where they didn't take the 수능.
Okay,
so they went early admission style. So, but what they did for like their friends, they like I gotta brag about Ray a little. So she made little packages, care packages for all of her friends that were taking the exam. And so, and her friends were like, kind of like tearing up because they're like, it wasn't just, I mean, by the way, the phone coupons and like vouchers are really, really nice. But she like handmade everything and she wrote a personalized note to each of her friends.
My.
편지
so
다, 손편지 쓰고 하니까 그 친구들이 되게 고맙게 생각하더라고요. And they're still really, really close friends.
Oh, that's a sweet present to have. I didn't know friends do it to each other too. I thought it was all about parents. 잘 될 거야. 이러면서.
근데 친구들끼리도 굉장히 응원해요.
But they must be so.
Yes.
So
that is the student culture here in Korea.
Yes.
Good luck, everybody.
Good luck.
All right, what is next?
Yes, in the next topic we're going to talk about is we're going to shift gears a little bit. And we're going to talk about the rise of K-food. I think I've done this a couple of times, but I feel like I have to do more because it is getting bigger and bigger globally. So according to Korea's Minister for Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs, K-food exports hit over $11.2 billion just this year.
Okay.
And this is about 6% up from last year. But the numbers say something, but kind of the story behind it is the interesting part of it, right? It's not just the traditional kimchi anymore.
Definitely not.
But kimchi is having, it takes up a big bulk of the export.
I'm sure.
But any guesses on what types of food is hiking up the food export?
Okay, so
What's in the list?
I never look at the script ahead
Yes,
of time
I trust you.
because I like being surprised.
Of course.
Okay. But I have a little feeling it might be like ramen related. Just because like you see on social media, everybody
ramen.
doing those like challenges.
Of course.
And then people like those ramen libraries that you've talked about, so popular.
Ramen.
Is it up there? Top three?
Definitely number two.
Oh,
after
really?
Kimchi, yes.
Oh, okay.
So the top growth items were actually ramen.
Oh.
It was up, though, by 21.7%.
That's a lot.
So, yes, by a lot. But I think it's because of the K-pop Demon Hunters. That's seen with the cup ramen, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the instant coffee mixes.
Oh.
Frozen desserts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Frozen K desserts?
For frozen K desserts.
Okay.
Processed foods.
Like,
I think,
like mandu?
Yeah. I think the key thing is mandu, what they're talking about. And seaweed snacks like kim, obviously. But you know what's unexpected?
What?
Grapes.
포도? Wait, are we talking like shine musket?
포도. Yes. That's exactly what we're talking about. The Korean shine musket grapes has become the new luxury fruit in parts of Asia.
Oh.
But in Korea, it's kind of going down the hill a little bit. It used to be like 한송이. If I was like bringing a giant basket to my friend's house, they'd be like, 이렇게 귀한 걸.
Right.
근데 now like, 요즘 많이 싸졌더라. kind of thing.
No, definitely the prices have gone down.
It's fun.
Thank you, farmers.
And the price, actually for me, the taste has gone down a little bit too. 좀 질겨요, 껍질이.
처음에 when they were really, really expensive.
Yes.
Is it the price? I don't know.
Oh, is it the mentality
like
behind?
진짜 달달하고 맛있었는데.
Oh.
But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like you buy it and you're like, oh, it's discounted. That's good. And you taste it, you're like, 옛날 맛이 아닌데.
맞아, 뭐가 좀
달라졌어.
딱딱하지 이런 생각이 있는데.
So.
Yes, so grape is part of the list too. And what's remarkable is that this surge isn't only about the numbers, right? It's about the cultural presence we have globally now.
Yes.
Of course, we have to talk about K-pop demon hunters because they posted their Korean snacks. And 고추 tuna, 고추 참치?
Yes.
That's become a very famous thing to eat on various SNS websites. Did you know?
Right.
Right. And so just this month, the pop star Troye Sivan? I don't know how to pronounce his name.
잘 발음해야
Oh,
돼요.
yes. 좀 어려웠다.
Sivan.
Troye Sivan.
Yes.
He posted this thing on the Insta thing saying, I love kimchi so much with the crying emoji.
Wow.
And fans joked, like commented saying, did he post that because it is kimjang season soon? Like, does he even know that about Korea?
I'm sure it was coincidental.
Right. It was and they were like, is he hinting that he's going to come to Seoul? Because he loves kimchi so much.
Maybe.
To the point that he's going to cry. And after a few weeks, actually a few weeks earlier, Cardi B went
She loves
live.
Korean products.
You've seen that viral video with her cosmetic, right? It
Yes.
keeps on popping on mine.
Right.
But now she went live showing herself eating the Korean 고추 참치, 고추 tuna with mayo rice and seaweed. And she had said that she bought it in New York City at a Korean mart
Exactly.
herself.
And no one's paying her to do this, I hear.
Exactly.
It's not a paid promotion.
Yeah, no one's... She's not an influencer we can pay, right? To post these kind of videos. Yes. So it seems like celebrities are doing these K-food ads because they just love it from the bottom of their heart.
Like there was another, it's not food related, but I remember seeing, I think it was Kylie Jenner. She was using some sort of K-beauty product.
Yes.
And that went like viral because they're like, she's a cosmetics, like company
guru.
owner guru,
Yeah,
supposedly.
right.
And then she's using K products, right?
Oh, so interesting.
So the timing is pretty good, right?
Timing is pretty good. And also to talk about a bit of the reasons behind why K-food is being loved globally. First, accessibility is kind of a big thing.
Yes.
It wasn't like that before, but Korean food nowadays, because of its popularity, is so easy to find.
That's true.
From H Mart in the US and even in Europe, there's like special markets that caters to Korean food.
Yes.
And then obviously the cultural crossover where TV dramas and 너튜브 mukbang have played a big role in, helping people see a lot of videos of people slurping noodles and eat kimchi with rice and trying all these types of Korean food. And then there's the adaptability aspect where the ramen brands, they've been coming out with like 1,000 different kinds of ramens, right? Like they mix it up
many.
and they make it local. That's their marketing strategy. So we have like vegan kimchi now because vegan is a thing. Or they have like halal ramen.
Yes, I saw that.
Oh, you've seen. So I think their K-food companies are doing a good job in terms of localizing their traditional Korean food to a little bit taste of the
They
local
know their
taste.
market. They do.
Yes.
Their local market.
Right.
Meaning like, what people want, what their dietary needs might be.
Exactly.
So it's really very targeting each specific culture. And that's that's good. They're smart.
Try out the halal ramen.
Oh, just to see, right?
Yes,
if
just
there's
to
a huge difference.
Exactly. There's so many difference.
Well, I do want to thank you for bringing us these two trends that are happening right now. And of course, we look forward to our next segment as well. So thank you, Lian.
Okay, see you next week.
All right. Well, we have more coming up in hour number 2, including our discussion with our expert on COP30, because, those meetings are ongoing right now in Brazil. So we're bringing you news regarding that. We also have Jennifer coming in for Work in Progress. It's all coming up in hour number 2. We're going to end it with this one in hour number 1, Ailey's Higher. I'll be back at 8.
난 기억하고 말 거야. 그 누가 뭐라 해도 아무것도 들리지 않아. 모든 걸 내 뜻에 날 맡길 거야. Going higher 내 막을 수는 없어. 내가 가는 이 길에 더 이상 두려움은 없어. Going higher 내가 바라본 순간 눈부시게 빛나는 또 다른 나를 보게 될 거야. 내가 넘을 수 없는 큰 벽이 있을지라도 뛰어넘을 수 있어. 할 수 있어. 그 어떤 시련이 와도 절대 난 흔들리지 않아. 이겨낼 수 있어. 난 문제 없어. 내 가슴 속에 숨쉬는 타오르는 열정이 널 데려가 저 멀리 더 높은 곳으로. Going higher 내 막을 수는 없어. 내가 가는 이 길에 더 이상 두려움은 없어. Going higher 내가 바라본 순간 눈부시게 빛나는 또 다른 나를 보게 될 거야. Find a way to my heart. Going higher 내 막을 수는 없어. 내가 가는 이 길에 더 이상 두려움은 없어. Going higher 내가 바라본 순간 눈부시게 빛나는 또 다른 나를 보게 돼. Going higher 내 막을 수는 없어. 내가 가는 이 길에 더 이상 두려움은 없어.
어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전 기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Brr! It's freezing outside. Let's crank up the heat.
Wait, you don't have to. Lowering the temperature by just 2 degrees can save a lot of energy.
2 degrees? That small change really matters?
You'd be surprised. If 10% of Korean households lower their heating by just 2 degrees, the effects are like planting about 350,000 trees a year.
That's magical. Then I'll just bundle up instead.
Smart move. Try wearing some thermal underwear or warm socks.
Plus, when you go out, don't turn the heater off completely. Set it to away mode or 외출 mode.
That way, it uses less fuel than turning it off and reheating the whole place later. Turn down the heat, but not your warmth.
This campaign is brought to you by BEFM, Busan 영어방송.
Want to be a friend of BFM 부산영어방송? You can chat with BFM through our Kakao Talk service. You can share your messages and photos through Kakao Talk, and you can easily become BFM's Kakao friend by searching BFM through the Find a Friend option. Come share and chat with us at BFM anytime, anywhere for free. Don't forget to add BFM 부산영어방송 to your Kakao friends list.
Man, I haven't got a chance. I call him.
The time is now 8 o'clock.
It is now time for Spotlight News. 2 bodies retrieved at Ulsan Boiler Tower collapse site. The bodies of 2 more workers have been retrieved from the ruins of the boiler tower collapse site as of this morning, bringing the death toll to 5. One body was recovered at 10:14 p.m. yesterday, with the second body found near the first and retrieved this morning at 5:19 a.m. 2 more remain buried under the rubble. The authorities resumed the search at the Ulsan East-West Power Corporation boiler tower collapse site yesterday after the 2 adjacent towers were demolished for safety. President calls for measures against hate speech and disinformation. President Lee Jae-myung yesterday called for stern punishment against dissemination of misinformation regarding racism, discrimination, and other distortions of facts as threats against democracy, calling on the political sphere to join in efforts to eradicate such practices. He also ordered measures to address political parties' banners, which he said were encouraging discrimination. Such banners are allowed without local government's permission under current law. The president's remarks came about as the country has seen xenophobic demonstrations by some conservative groups and after a past racist remark by the chair of the Korean Red Cross came under scrutiny last week. Ex-President Yoon denies interference in Marine's death investigation. Former President Yoon Suk-yeol appeared for questioning at the special counsel probing the death and the subsequent investigation into the death of Marine Corporal Chae, where he denied exerting influence over the case in 2023. The Lee Myung-hyun special counsel questioned Yoon for about 9 hours. Yoon reportedly denied the charges, saying that his expression of outrage regarding the investigation in July of 2023 was directed at a lack of preventive measures by the military. The former president faces charges of abusing his power and aiding former defense minister Lee Jong-sup evade responsibility by appointing him as the ambassador to Australia the following year. Government to probe public officials' participation in martial law. The Office of the Prime Minister announced the launch of a task force to investigate public officials' illegal participation in the December 3rd martial law case, as proposed by Prime Minister Kim Min-seok at the cabinet yesterday. The task force will have the right to probe all 49 central administrative institutions, focusing on the military, the police, and the prosecution, the Prime Minister's office, and ministries of finance, foreign affairs, justice, defense, interior, and culture. Each institution must form its own task force and report its findings by the end of next January, with the central task force taking personnel measures based on the findings by next February. U.S. Senate passes funding bill to end government shutdown. The U.S. Senate passed a crucial funding bill that could bring the government shutdown to an end, with a bill now going to the House of Representatives for a vote. House Democrats, however, have vowed to oppose the bill as it does not address their demand for healthcare funding. President Donald Trump has welcomed the passage of the bill as a big victory during remarks at the Arlington Cemetery. And this was Spotlight News. It's time for Waglwagle. Haley's back in the studio. Welcome back.
Good morning again.
Yes, yes. Well, you know, overall, most people seem to think that South Korea had a very successful APEC summit, thanks to the hard work by many contributors. But apparently there is dissatisfaction among the police over how the police officers, were treated.
Right. So much so there are demonstrations ongoing. So it's been, 12 days since the end of the APEC summit in Gyeongju. But dissatisfaction amongst police officers who were dispatched to the event, well, that's only continuing.
Yes.
So the authorities had up to 19,000 officers in Gyeongju from all over the country. But due to apparently some confusion and miscommunication on the scene, some were not given a place to stay nor fed.
Yes, so I saw the photos. I was alarmed and really surprised. What exactly happened?
Right, so the police union released some pictures, and you see officers in uniform. They're waiting for an event, it looks like, but they're lying down on cardboard boxes.
Yes.
Right, and there were also pictures of them sleeping in masses inside a movie theater. So there's like a big screen, you see the chairs, or in the hallway of a building with just a blanket.
Right.
So an official from the union said that some officers were not even given blankets, so they had to actually go out and just find some boxes to sleep under. So on Blind, which is a professional's website, there are stories from verified police accounts that they were not given food, so they had to buy food out of pocket, or the food that they were given was cold.
Right.
So the union said they're actually going to hold a photo exhibition titled APEC Turned the Police Homeless in front of the National Assembly today and again on the day after. And then they also called for an audit into the leadership of the police, an apology from them, and prevention measures.
Right. And, you know, like I said, I'm sure many people saw those photos and were kind of flabbergasted and shocked. And we have some of those photos on our YouTube page right now. So those are our police officers.
Doesn't look good.
Right. All right. Well, we are going to move on. For our next story, this taxi driver was found guilty of extorting his customers. So what is this about?
Right. So kind of a caution call to all. So a taxi driver apparently targeted customers who were intoxicated, who were drunk, and made a total of 150 million won. 1억 5천만 원 in settlements of things that didn't happen.
Okay.
And then he was ultimately found guilty in court of distortion and attempted distortion. So what happened? This 68-year-old taxi driver would take drunk customers, would go around to busy areas, and they were so drunk that they kind of fell asleep or passed out in the back seat. And then before picking them up, and this is a little gross, so be aware.
Okay.
He would create this mixture of, he would go to the convenience store and, buy those juk, like the porridge, and plus coffee for what looked like, vomit. He would then throw that onto the customer, all over the seats, maybe a bit on himself. And then at that point, he would wake up the customer. And the customer would wake up to what looks like vomit all over him or herself, chastise them for vomiting in the taxi, and demand money for cleaning. Because, I mean, if you do, you do have to deep clean the car, and that takes a lot of money. Not only that, I mean, he was thoroughly prepared. He prepared a pair of broken glasses, claimed that the customer hit him, thus the glasses broke. Again, then he would demand a settlement instead of pressing charges. Or even worse, there were instances that he did call the police and lied, and that's false testimony, and so on. So ultimately making 150 million won from 160 victims.
Wow.
So he got caught though, right? You do something for too long, of course you're bound to get caught. The police went undercover. So this is another almost movie-like operation.
Yes.
Arrested him on April 1st in Namyangju on the scene. The man, turns out, had priors of the same stuff. And he actually served a 2.5-year sentence for the same crimes. Was released just 4 months earlier before he started the antics again. So the court this time sentenced him to 4.5 years, but took into consideration that he did confess he had some health issues and repents for what he did.
So once again, this was for extortion, not distortion, right?
Sorry, extortion. Yeah,
Right, I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like-
Not distortion. Extortion.
Extortion meaning, you know, trying to get money for
Threatening someone, blackmail
Yes.
from false circumstances.
Yes. All right. Let's move on to our next story. Collaborations are really a key part of retail these days, but the health ministry is stepping in against excessive collaborations with liquor and alcohol.
Right. So collaborations and trends, that's in Lian's wheelhouse. But the reason I'm bringing this is because it has become a little bit problematic. So maybe first the trend. They've been collaborating alcohol brands with flour brands. Like, because wheat. So some make sense. Wheat beer, flours from wheat.
Okay, flour.
All right. So
That flour.
there's like that, FLOUR.
Yes.
And then similar, it rhymes like a shoe polish brand because it's like 무슨 표, like the horse 표, the bear 표. So that's dark beer. Maybe that makes sense.
Okay.
But the whole point is you utilize familiar brands to increase awareness and maybe curiosity of, what's that beer going to taste like? As well as kind of lowering the barrier to entry. But that's always been the case. However, recently, some people say it's crossed the line, including lawmaker Nam In-sun, who belongs in the Parliamentary Health Committee. The office pointed out that some of these collaboration products were made in a way they look like potions you would see from video games. So that's sparks a curiosity. Also kind of implies, that'll give you energy. This could be good for you, an extra life, if you will.
Okay.
And then also it instills a sense of almost a game-like attitude in drinking. The health ministry also agreed with this, saying that they do take this issue seriously, as alcohol, of course, has a direct negative impact on one's health.
Yes.
But sometimes in these advertisements, they are treated too lightly. So the government says in terms of its actions, it's going to monitor these sort of indirect alcohol marketing, also take real measures against repeat offenders.
I see. So thanks for letting us know about this. And now for our final story. Today is the day before the CSAT for the Sunung tomorrow. Preparations are fully underway.
I mean, right. So D-1. So officially today is orientation day. So let's get to the details. Test takers, you must go to your orientation and get your test slip. 수험표, right? When you get the slip, check to make sure that it has the correct elective or the choice subject you'll be taking, plus the location of your test site.
Yes.
Might be a good day to do a dry run, right? A rehearsal of, check the bus routes. If your parent or guardian's driving you, check the traffic, where it is. Because for people who are not aware of the Korean testing system, they don't take the test at their high school. It's at a different school because of cheating concerns. Also, at the OT orientation, they'll give you guidelines on what you cannot bring. Honestly, if anything has a battery or plugs in, don't bring it.
Right.
Or if you do, turn it into the proctor. And also, they will tell you, and this is true, you must take the 4th period 한국사 Korean history exam. That's mandatory. Otherwise, your test is void. In terms of prep, don't cram. Right? Only go over, if you've written like 오답 노트, only go over, the logs of the questions you've gotten wrong, review, and, rest. Get nutrients, but don't try anything new, whether it be medication, sleep schedule, studying. Experts do advise going to bed before 11 p.m. So you get at least 6 hours of sleep.
That's
they
right.
do recommend more, but at least, and get up early. Don't get up at 7:45, God forbid. I know. Does that stress you out?
It stresses me out.
Like my stomach just growled.
Right.
Saying this. But get up early because
Yes.
you're going to want your brain to be at its peak performance. Also, speaking of peak performance, don't drink too much coffee or energy drinks, whether that be tonight or tomorrow. Getting a balanced meal, kind of schedule that with what you'd be eating tomorrow.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes. And some people are doing some last minute shopping for suning materials.
Right. So some consumer trends, not just gifts, but secondhand markets have seen a spike in sunung-related items sales. So
Right.
for example, we call that sunung 샤프, sunung mechanical pencils. Here's the thing. You do use like markers to fill in the bubbles, but for just like doing questions, authorities provide mechanical pencils used during the test, always in different colors by year. So some students are buying pencils to be able to practice because that hand feel is different.
Yes.
Or buying pencils from people who say they've gotten really high scores or went to one of the top universities.
How do you know?
I mean, there's like a network of parents, especially moms, and I do know someone whose child went to one of the alphabet prestigious schools, and she already has a line of other the hubes, the juniors who want not only the pencil but also the lunchbox.
The lunchbox.
It's also thermal lunch boxes. Sales of these lunch boxes are up by 107%. People are still trying to make some reasonable purchases because you're not going to use that too much after that one day. So they're trying to save a little bit of money on it. Also, watches. If you want to bring a watch, also must be analog with the second and the minute and the hour hand. No digital watches allowed. So we're also seeing spikes in sales.
You know what the hubes of my daughter asked for? Her notes.
Oh.
I was like, oh, really? You don't take your own notes?
Wait,
yeah, like
interesting.
they wanted. They're like, can we? And then we're like, so she was like, for what? I mean, don't you take your own notes in class? And they're like, they do, but they want to like cross check for when they take
but
it
that's
next year.
Practical, right? That's not superstitious. It's all right.
And I was like, okay.
Your daughter must have good handwriting.
She does, but I was still kind of taken aback. I was like, wow, that's how hardcore studying is.
I mean, honestly, whatever gets, maybe gives you the extra oomph of luck. Yeah, so good luck to all of you.
Of course. All the test takers, whether you're 고3, and especially for the retakers, I feel for you. I do.
I know. I'm speaking of
cheering them on.
superstitions. I seriously would be like, keep out that guy. Like, take my energy just for the English portion, not anything else. But yeah.
All right, we're going to call it a wrap. We'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Haley.
Have a great day.
All right, let's get to your updated traffic and weather. It is time for your updated traffic report. It's now 8:16. Here it is. Chungjangdaero right now, it looks busy from pier number 5 to pier number 4. Also, it's congested on Suyeongno from Daenam intersection to KBS three-way intersection. An accident has been cleared, but there's some backup and hence the congestion. There's also some backup on Byeonglo from the Wondong ramp to Suyeong Tunnel, and it is slow on Jungangdaero from Yangjong intersection to Songgong three-way intersection. Currently, it is 13 degrees Celsius. It's going to go up to 18 today. Across the nation, clear skies. However, morning lows below zero in some mountainous regions. It's going to go up to 20, maybe, depending on where you are. So once again, big temperature differences. This was your traffic and weather. It's time for your special interview. You know, we have complained, especially during summer this year, about the record-breaking heat waves. And just over the weekend, a powerful typhoon, actually two back-to-back, struck the Philippines. And meanwhile, parts of the United States are seeing early snowfall and forecasts of record low temperatures. The weather and the climate behind the weather has never felt more closely tied to our daily lives. Starting November 10th and running through the 21st, the Brazilian city of Belém is hosting the 30th conference of the parties, shortened to COP30, where world leaders are gathering to discuss and negotiate global climate action. South Korea is among the participating nations under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, or UNFCCC. Today, we are going to speak with an expert to better understand what to expect from this year's COP and what it could mean for the world. Joining us is Dr. Bruno Takahashi, the Brandt Endowed Professor of Environmental Communication and the Research Director at the Knight Center for Environmental Journalism at Michigan State University. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation, Catherine.
Yes. So COP30, it has kicked off in Brazil. So to start, could you share what the main agenda and priorities are this year?
So this year at the COP30, there are two main agenda items. The first one relates to climate financing, and this is an item that has been discussed in prior COPs. And it's a way to come up with a funding mechanism that will allow developing nations, low and middle income nations, to adapt to some of the impacts that you described that are tied to climate change, but particularly related to extreme weather events. So that's the first point in the agenda. The second one, which is something also that has been recurring in COP meetings, is the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. So every country, as you mentioned, has to come up with a plan, the NDC, the nationally determined contributions, to voluntarily come up with a target to reduce these emissions. So there's always been a contentious discussion and negotiation between the representatives, the delegates from each country, to what commitments they can agree on, because each country has different needs, are in different paths to grow their economies, and therefore have different also targets to reduce those emissions.
Indeed. And, with Brazil hosting this year's the COP, and obviously when we think of Brazil, we do think about the Amazon as well, which might be very symbolic. How could hosting the COP30 with, of course, this Amazon influence discussions on things like, for example, deforestation and also protecting biodiversity?
Now, that's a great question. Yes, it's both symbolic, but also it's very practical. Having the COP in Belém, in Brazil, allows, because of proximity, for representatives from the Global South, particularly from Latin America, to attend the meeting. Now, with that being said, there's been a lot of concerns about the cost and the availability of spaces for lodging, rooms for delegates to be at the conference. But regardless of that, again, the proximity allows for voices that particularly are affected by climate change, and that includes indigenous populations, to have a space to be able to put those issues that impact them the most on the agenda, including biodiversity. Many of the questions related to biodiversity are linked to issues related to territory and indigenous rights. An impact on biodiversity also means an impact on the livelihood of indigenous populations in the Amazon, as well as other sensitive ecosystems around the world.
Right. And I would think that, Dr. Takahashi, that climate communication plays a crucial role in shaping how the public understands and responds to the climate crisis. So from your perspective, how effective are these global summits like the COP30 in communicating their message to the general public?
Yeah, that's a great question as well. They're partially effective. They're effective in the sense that the research on climate change news coverage, for instance, shows that COP meetings are typically events that garner significant media attention. So they're typically, if you look at the coverage across any single year, November, December, when the COP takes place, that's the peak of coverage across the world.
Right.
So we see intense coverage. Now, the question is what type of coverage we're seeing year to year. Most of the focus on the COP tends to be on the negotiations, on the conflict that arises between countries and the lack perhaps of agreement, or eventually an agreement that might come into play. Now, who is highlighted in those stories tend to be official governmental sources.
Yes.
And those voices that are typically marginalized, as I was mentioning, indigenous voices, for instance, don't have a lot of space in that coverage. So it's a question not only of the quantity of the coverage, but also the content of that coverage. And as we've seen in the last few days, there's been some voices, for example, President Donald Trump, voicing skepticism and spreading misinformation about the COP meeting, and that tends to receive considerable coverage because the President of the United States will always be newsworthy.
Yes, indeed. And the UN Environment Program recently said that the world has failed to meet its main climate goal of limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. And we've been hearing this number for several years now. How significant is this failure of not meeting this goal?
Yeah. So it's important to understand that although we've surpassed that threshold already, there's already scientific evidence that suggests that we've surpassed that. It is also true that progress has been made. Some estimates suggested that business as usual would have taken us into a path of a 3 to 3.8 degrees Celsius increase in global average temperatures. Now we're seeing that we'll probably exceed the 2.0 degrees Celsius threshold, which indeed is beyond what scientists were recommending would be safe for addressing impacts, especially again to coastal and marginalized populations. So there is space for hope, but certainly this offshoot of 1.5 over 1.5 requires active action to prevent the worst impacts that climate change could bring.
Yes. Thanks for explaining. And if we look within South Korea recently announced a new 2035 greenhouse gas reduction target, aiming to cut emissions by 53 to 61% compared to 2018 levels. How significant is this move in the broader context of global climate efforts? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I mean, hearing that, it's important, certainly sends an important message that a country that, developed country that depends on fossil fuels in many ways, is moving towards large reductions. I think it sends a strong message to other countries.
Right.
Of course, in the larger scheme of things, countries like China, the United States, India contribute more emissions than a smaller country like South Korea. But again, it sends an important message that if a country like South Korea can do this, perhaps other countries can as well. Now, of course, there are challenges. Every country will face challenges because, again, dependence on fossil fuels is still very strong across the world, including Korea. So a country like Korea would be dependent on the supply of fossil fuels and the availability of other sources of energy. That perhaps because of space limitations, a country like South Korea will have a harder time deploying certain type of green energy sources, like for example, solar panels or wind energy, like some countries like the United States or China, because of space, might be more capable of doing that.
Yes.
So there's going to be some challenges in relation to, again, where are those alternative sources of energy are going to come, other than carbon credits, which is one way in which many countries reduce their contributions, is through buying carbon credits to other least developed nations.
Yes. And there's also this concern, and this is also, I think, just as important, but bridging that gap between scientific warnings and experts plus public engagement, that might be one of the biggest challenges. In your view, what are the most effective strategies to bridge that gap?
Yeah, no, and that's a great question. We see that there is different levels of public engagement across countries, and there's been significant research trying to understand what factors might contribute to those differences. In some cases, we know that there are active misinformation campaigns and disinformation campaigns that might sway public opinion towards skepticism of climate change. And again, as I mentioned, we're seeing it coming from the President of the United States with some messaging related to the COP. But we also know that there are effective strategies to, as you mentioned, close that gap between kind of this very abstract and global issue with people's daily lives and their livelihoods. And one of the most effective framings about climate change is public health.
Yes.
We're all concerned with our public public health of our societies, with our individual health, and there's been plenty of studies and campaigns that tie those two issues together. I've been part of an effort called the Lancet Countdown that has been looking at this intersection. So people agreed on issues related to public health. So even if climate change is a polarizing issue, people agree that public health and improving the conditions at the local level, whether that's air pollution or water pollution or other environmental conditions, it's something that we should strive for. So framing climate change as a public health crisis brings people to the table and engage them in addressing the factors that contribute to those problems, including climate change.
Right. Well, I want to thank you for providing us with your time, your expertise on these very important issues, and we'll keep an eye on what happens at the COP30. Thank you, Dr. Takahashi.
Thank you for the invitation, Catherine. It was a pleasure.
All right, everybody, this was our special interview. And once again, it's ongoing till the 21st of November. We'll keep an eye on what happens and if there is some sort of agreement to be had. We're going to take a song break. This is from Michael Bublé, You've Got a Friend in Me.
You got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. When the road looks rough ahead and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed, you just remember what your old pal said. Yeah, you've got a friend in me. Baby, you've got a friend in me. You got a pal in me. You've got a friend in me. You got your troubles, well, I got them too. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. We stick together and see it through, 'cause you got a friend in me. Darling, you got a friend in me. Now some of the boys might be a little smarter than I am, or bigger and stronger too, maybe, but none of them is ever gonna love you the way I do. Oh, it's me and you, and as the years go by, our friendship will never die. You're gonna see it's a destiny, 'cause you've got a friend in me. My baby, you've got a friend in me. Now some of the boys might be a little smarter than I am, bigger and stronger too, maybe. None of them is ever gonna love you the way I do, 'cause it's me and you. And as the years go by, our love will never die. You're gonna see it's our destiny. You got a friend in me. Baby, you've got a friend in me. You, me, and me. got friends in me. My darling, you got a friend in me.
That was a really nice rendition by Michael Bublé. And now let's get to some of your responses to our text topic. First up, we have Benny, who says, I'm currently living with mom, dad, and Benny is apparently the eldest. Okay, and then he writes little sister and little brother. So that makes it 5, if I'm counting correctly. And pet stray cats like we have 2 kittens. Oh, like the mommy cat, and then there's another cat. So I guess there's 5 plus a 2 stray-ish cats. I guess that they kind of take care of as well. So, 7 members in your family, 2 of the cats included. And then we have 태진님 who says, 결혼 전에는 항상 아이는 2명 가져야지 생각했는데 결혼했는데 가끔 주변에 1명만 낳아서 1명한테 집중하고 모든 경비, 학원, 여행, 의식주 가끔 보일 때 있대요. 하지만 he's very satisfied. So basically he's saying he always wanted 2 kids. But he does see, families around him that have only 1 child where they're able to kind of concentrate on that 1 child, whether it's like expenses for the hagwon or for travel or just, like clothing and feeding your child is really expensive. And so he sometimes wonders, like, how would that be? What would it be like? But then he looks at his son and daughter, perfectly happy. But he does wonder. Can I share with you a little secret? When I got married, I was young and stupid. And we discussed this, and we wanted a big family. So we wanted 5 kids. 총 5명이 아니라 아이만 5 어떨까? 그래서 결혼 전에 그런 이야기를 나눴고요. Like I said, I was like, in my 20s and not in my right mind. So I always was thinking, we're going to have a huge family. And then came, baby number 1. Zach, we love you, yes. And then 2, Rachel came. And then 3rd, Joseph came. And then after Joe, we're like, I think we're done. I said to my roommate, I was like, I think I'm done. Are you okay? And he goes, yeah, I'm okay. So we were satisfied with our 3. But of course, if I were to choose La La Land, Fantasyland, part-time, 1-person household, how about that? I don't even fantasize about 2 days of the week. Just like 1 day, if I could just be a 1-person household, I would be happy with that as well. Let's find out what Jennifer thinks, because Work in Progress is next. It's time for Work in Progress. That means Jennifer's here. Let's see what she thinks about our text topic, and then we'll dive into our topic. Good morning.
Good morning.
So you heard me ramble on and on about my, when I was young, I had dreams.
5 kids. I can't even imagine what they would be like, I have friends with 3 kids, and they struggle, like you.
It's a struggle. It is.
Yeah, they are happy, but they also struggle a lot. Yeah.
But my friends in the States, the average number is 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Still?
I don't know. For my generation of my friends, at least, there were like, I think 10 of us in a close group, and the average number was 3, and then some had 4 and 5. So it was just like, I don't know.
I was listening to the text message. The message from listener who have 2 kids.
Yes.
And he wonders what it would be like to have only
have
one.
Yeah,
that's me.
Yes. And so, what would you say?
True. I can give all my attention to that child.
Yes.
And make investment in only one.
Ooh.
But I can spend all my money on that child.
Do you ever regret not having a sibling for your child, or no?
Sometimes I do, actually, because now my daughter is living in a dormitory.
Oh.
So it's just me and my husband. So and sometimes my husband works late, and then I'm alone at home. And
Are you not happy?
I am happy most times,
Okay.
watching TV and watching Netflix and
I see.
relaxing. But I wish, I miss those times when I had my daughter at home.
Yes,
and,
yes.
We had a
I didn't
nice
know she lived in a
talk and,
dorm. Okay.
cozy dinner time.
Well, thank you for sharing. So the moral of the story, I think the grass is always greener.
Yeah, we can't
on the
have
other
both.
side. Yes.
I have a comfort of not cooking
Yes.
every evening, but yes, still, I miss the time when I had my daughter back home.
See.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to jump into our segment. What are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about lunchtime at work and how it's starting to change, evolving.
Okay.
These days, the way we eat, when we eat, what we eat, and how we spend that 1 hour tells you a lot about our work life.
Oh, 점심시간.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little hungry. It seems simple, but I think, as you just said, it might be like also a reflection of how people view time and just their break time, their rest, and work itself, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. A recent article showed that more Korean office workers are eating earlier, even as early as 11 a.m. to avoid crowds and queues. The traditional 12 to 1 slot is fading. What about here at BFM?
I don't know. Let me ask our PD님. Do people, do they go in shifts? Do they go at 11 or is it just 12 to noon? 12 to noon.
Oh, okay.
12 to 1.
12 to 1.
12 is noon. 12 to 1, yes.
All together.
Yes.
I assume. Yeah.
So is there a separate groups, PD님? Or all together? Separate groups?
Separate groups.
Okay. That's good to know because I feel like, if you're forced to... if you're pushed to eat lunch with the same
all
people.
together,
Yes.
it's hard to choose a restaurant that big.
Right, with so many people every day.
And the companies are introducing flexible lunch windows and employees plan their breaks strategically to save time. Data from payment systems even shows that peak lunchtime has moved 30 minutes earlier compared to 2019.
Interesting. All right, so what about how people spend that time? Because, is it just about team lunches, meaning within your smaller groups, or how does it go these days?
Well, not really. It used to be kind of team ritual, going out together, talking shop over food, but now it's more flexible. Some people still enjoy group lunches.
Yes.
But many use their time to decompress, grab a coffee, take a walk, and even power nap.
Oh, power nap. I am so part of that group. I'll scarf down my salad in 10 minutes. And then I try to digest. I tell myself, okay, don't lie down. And then after 15 minutes, I'm my eyelids are drooping. Because, I wake up at 4:30. I'm so tired. And then I take a 10-minute power nap, but I feel so much better.
Oh, yeah. That makes a big difference, right? That 10 minutes. True.
But that might have been unthinkable maybe even 10, 15 years ago.
No, yeah. Younger professionals especially value that personal reset. Instead of noisy restaurant, they might prefer a quiet cafe meal or a solo meal.
Yes.
But not everyone can. Customer service or manufacturing roles still require coordinated schedules.
Interesting. So it might depend on, what type of job you have, the job culture, the work culture, in determining how flexible you can be with your schedule, right?
Yeah. So for some companies, they have very structured lunch hour.
Yes.
They have buffet restaurant and they have to eat all together. While for others, it's a moment of autonomy, freedom.
Okay. So let's talk about what people actually eat or maybe skip. And then, we have our PD님 who says she is part of the 도시락 group, the PEM family, meaning she brings her own lunch. By the way, that takes effort and planning, and I applaud that.
You gotta get up early and prepare.
Yes, even no matter how simple it is, right? You gotta prep, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So, what are people actually eating or skipping?
Yeah, rising prices and health concerns are changing choices. More people are choosing lighter lunches, things like salads, sandwiches,
Yes.
kimbap, poke bowls,
Oh, so
or
good.
yes, over big restaurant meals. And some people simply eat less, not out of diet culture, not because of money, but to keep energy steady for the afternoon. You know what it's like getting all sleepy after a heavy meal.
It's so, I mean, that is so a part of, I'm sure, everyone's lives. If you have a heavy meal, you get like the slumber, you get so sleepy.
Yeah, it's so
food
unpleasant.
coma. Right. And then like, I have noticed more and more people also using delivery apps even during office hours. Like they order ahead of time. Not at 12. That's too late, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's true. Interestingly, surveys show over 2/3 of office workers now see lunch primarily as rest time, not meal time.
Okay.
And what they value most when choosing food isn't price, it's taste and convenience.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
그러니까 가격뿐만 아니라 it's like 맛있냐? Is it good?
Yeah.
How
Is it
convenient?
convenient?
Oh.
Maybe that's why they order.
Okay.
But some workplaces, it's not allowed. Yeah.
Right.
Ordering. Yeah.
And especially like depending how big your company is, if there's like a separate break room or lunch room, or is there like a cafeteria area where you can. And then like I always wonder, because I've never worked at a huge company in Korea, like if there is like a 급식실 or a separate cafeteria room, like is it okay to take your lunch into that room to like, eat there? Is it okay? Questions.
And also with the delivery, imagine like dozen of motorbike. Delivery guys are waiting for that in front of the company.
So many logistics, all because of lunch. But I'm thinking how people treat lunch. It does also depend on, one's culture, meaning not the work culture, but like, where you're from, country.
Oh, sure, definitely. In Japan, the lunch breaks are still highly structured, even timed by a bell, I heard. In the U.S., people often multitask and eat at their desks.
Yes, that's common.
Very common, yeah. But in France or Spain, lunch is almost sacred. It's really valued. Workers step away for a proper meal and conversation.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
And like, can we lengthen our lunch? Does it have to be a lunch hour? Can it not be a lunch 90 minutes? Just that extra 30 minutes. So I think, or even like 15, 20 minutes. That would, I think, do a lot, just like for us mentally, spiritually.
Yes,
to have
some
that extra
restaurants,
time.
they are so crowded. You have to wait for an hour to get in, actually.
And then
right?
you got to eat quickly.
Yeah.
Well, in some places, lunch is all about efficiency, while others, like you just said, it's about connection.
Well, in the past, lunch was often seen as team activity. But not these days. It's becoming more of a personal time for many workers. A short space to recharge, grab a coffee, or run even a few errands.
And so, I bet, the pandemic, like it's like the pre-pandemic, post-pandemic, that's kind of like a timeline shift for a lot of people and workplaces, I'm thinking.
Absolutely. Remote work changed habits,
Yes.
our habits. People got used to flexible meal time and then got more control over their day.
Yes.
Now, even after returning to offices, many keep that mindset, same mindset, during pandemic, valuing autonomy and shorter, more meaningful breaks.
So it kind of sounds like, having this so-called flexibility, it's no longer a perk, but it's kind of expected.
Yeah, people expect it.
Okay.
And companies are realizing that when employees have ownership of their time, they often return more focused and more productive.
Yes. That's why I was like kind of joking, like if we could just extend our lunch just by 15 minutes even. I'm not even asking for like a full hour and a half.
But you know what's going to happen if you extend it for 15 minutes? But then people will say, okay, half an hour. And then another
Can we just
10
have
minutes?
a siesta? Can we all move to Spain and take a 2-hour nap in the afternoon? But then our work hours, we would end late. So so what about the well-being side? Because does a better lunch culture actually impact productivity?
Oh, very much so. Studies show workers feel more positive, energized after real breaks.
Okay.
Not just quick meals.
Oh.
Some companies now design quiet zones or nap pods for midday rest, so space for resting. Others subsidize healthy meals or provide outdoor spaces.
Yes. I like that idea. The whole idea of, we want you to thrive, not just be, like little worker bees work like all day long, but, in order to be that productive.
Yeah.
Support us. What else is there, what else do we know?
Employers, it's not about food. It's about giving autonomy, protecting true break time.
Sure.
And seeing lunch as part of sustainable work design.
Okay. And so I'm thinking, though, there are some downsides.
Yes. For everything, there's some downside.
Yes.
Yeah, flexibility can create inequality.
Oh.
Some workers may enjoy options, but frontline staff often can't. They have no choice. Also, when everyone picks different times, team connection can weaken. It's harder to schedule group lunches or meetings.
I see. So I guess the challenge might be all about balance between flexibility and also like the connectivity and togetherness.
Yeah.
Yes?
The team spirit. Companies need to define norms that work for their teams. Otherwise, freedom can become confusion.
Oh, so before we wrap up, are there some practical ways workplaces can make lunch more meaningful?
I would start with flexibility.
Okay.
Allow workers to choose when to eat within reason.
Yes. So that does make sense. And of course, we're going to have to call it a wrap today.
Okay.
But we do look forward to, of course, our next conversation. So thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Right. Everybody, this was Jennifer with Work in Progress. And tomorrow is that day for so many young people across the country. DJ. It is 수능날. So what can we say? We can be encouraging, and especially for the parents today, if I can just give a little teeny bit of advice, just be supportive. Please don't, put your expectations on your child or niece or nephew saying, 잘해야 돼 말고 그냥 just be supportive. Ask them how they're feeling, how you're doing, and all we can do is quietly, in your own space, quietly pray and have positive thoughts. But when you're with your test taker, try to exude confidence and warmth and support. I think we can do that collectively as a society as well. So tomorrow we will definitely be rooting and cheering on all the test takers. And in light of that spirit, I thought, how about this? Michael actually sent us some lovely photos that his daughter drew or painted. So we're going to put that up as we say goodbye. Final song for today. It's Roar, because we want you to roar tomorrow, by Katy Perry. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.
I used to bite my tongue and hold my breath, scared to rock the boat and make a mess. So I said quietly, agreed politely. I guess that I forgot I had a choice. I let you push me past the breaking point. I stood for nothing, so I fell for everything. You held me down, but I got up, already brushing off the dust. You hear my voice, you hear that sound, like thunder gonna shake the ground. You held me down, but I got up. Get ready, 'cause I've had enough. I see it all, I see it now. I got the eye of the tiger.
English with
부산